From crazy parties to serious business events, we've created tons of after-movies at Cinecom. But what makes an after-movie so exciting to watch? Here are 5 tips for shooting an after-movie. Hey folks, it's Jordi here for Cinecom.net. Whether you shoot a dance party or a business event, it's always important to show the positive atmosphere so that the guests can look back on that wonderful day or tease the people that couldn't be there so that they'll come next year. You want to create a video that people share and interact with. But how do we do that? Tip number 1. Be conscious about the cliches and try to avoid them. When you make an after-movie about the party, don't just film people dancing the whole time. And if it's a business event, try to avoid shots of people that drink champagne, eat olives and talk in a group around standing desks. That's just boring to watch. But unfortunately, we see it too much. So be aware of the cliches, what most after-movies show you, and try to be creative with your shots. Don't be afraid to skip certain parts throughout the day when you believe they aren't interesting. And that brings us to tip number 2, which extends to the first tip. Be a director, not just a cameraman. You're creating a visual story that often needs specific shots to tell that story. If you're not sure something will happen, then just put things in scene. Of course, don't tell a different story than what the event is about. Just ask people to do something for the lens. This could be small things like standing on a specific place, let people lift your glass, pop a champagne bottle, if that fits the story of course, let the hostesses do something, etc. Shots like these make the viewer feel more connected to the event. Tip number 3. If it helps to tell the story or even set the mood, then record a speech or do a small interview from someone at the event. Not to show the entire speech, but to find interesting quotes. We often do this to bring forward the emotion of the day and add an extra layer to the video.
Omdat ik zo'n fantastisch team heb om voor mee te werken op 3 locaties.
If I don't work with a voiceover or an on-camera speech, I also have the tendency to look for music with lead vocals that goes with the editing. Vocals that somehow tell the mood of the event. On to the 4th trick. Notice the details in your camera work. This really differentiates a professional after-movie over amateur work. As you're covering an event where you have very little control over what happens, camera mistakes are done pretty quick. Your image is out of focus, someone walks into your lens, you forgot to set a new white balance, your angle is skew, etc. If that happens, make your shots again if possible, and definitely don't use it in the editing. I know it's not always so convenient, but try to make a video that is clean from such mistakes. If your shot was out of focus, then ask the person in that shot to do their action again, even if that's something silly like raising your glass or making that funny dance move again. And that brings us to the last tip for today. Make enough insert shots. These are shots from the interior, perhaps the sun behind the tree, walking feet, etc. These shots usually don't show what's actually happening at the event, but they do help you a lot in the editing to connect all the different scenes more fluent together. And that also adds a great extra value to the mood and feeling of the video. If you like these tips, please let me know in the comments below, and I might make another video about after movies, as there's so much more we could talk about. Thank you so much for watching. And always remember, stay creative.